Well, hey, Christy.
Hello, Kelly. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Guess what day it is?
It's Podcast Thursday!
August Thursday. We made it to another Thursday. Oh, God.
Thursdays. I love
I
Thursdays.
do too.
So
I do.
I love Fridays more, but I do love Thursdays.
I do.
So, as you can see, if you are watching versus listening, we have a third person on our podcast today.
2 became 3, and let's just say, if you're not watching, it's another curly girly.
Holla. And a K name.
And her hair's as big as mine. So,
Her
yeah.
hair. Listen, her hair is like his dream. I wished I could have grown that hair nowadays, true. But even then, my God, I have hair envy.
I do too. I actually got extensions right after running back into her again. Anywho, and Kenzie, I'm going to butcher your last name, so I'm just going to call you Kenzie. I would like to introduce our friend Kenzie. And Kenzie is from my hometown. And funny enough, our family is connected at many levels. One, her stepbrother and my oldest brother, John, were very good friends in high school and into college.
Okay.
My little sister, Jenny, dated her stepbrother, a different stepbrother, because that'd have been creepy, a different stepbrother in high school. And she was in my little brother's class. And I always wanted him to marry Kenzie. That was always my dream. Now, Brandy, don't get twisted. I love you and you're perfect for Eric. And I now see the error of my ways because you were supposed to be his wife. But anywho, Kenzie.
Can I just say, as a girl who grew up in a small town, you describing your connections to Kenzie makes me giggle because, of course, you're connected on 14 levels through full and half siblings. How else would anyone be connected to anyone? It's feeling very, as my husband would say, diddling ding 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 ding.
Listen.
That's a reference to a movie even I know.
Midwest. We're in the Midwest, the Saint Deliverance. Okay. So why is Kenzie here?
Yes.
Kenzie is here because I'm going to mess this up and I'm so sorry. She's an Enneagram expert and she works with companies to help them figure out how to work better with each other. I think she's kind of like a therapist for companies. Like, let's figure out where we all, connect and how we work better together. And her and I ran into each other at a volleyball tournament, as one does, because that's where I live. And both of our daughters play competitive volleyball. We got into this whole discussion and I'm like, got to have Kenzie on the podcast. With that, I am going to shut up and let for 2 seconds and let Kenzie tell us who she is and what she does and why she's here.
All right, let's do it. Well, I'm excited. Yeah, Enneagram honestly is one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. Besides hot dogs, I also love hot dogs and my family. But I found the Enneagram about 7 years ago. And I don't know about you guys. Actually, I know you've taken a lot of different assessments because you sent me your results from all the different ones. I'm nerdy. I love stuff like that. But I felt like this was the first one when I found it that it really stops you dead in your tracks because there's some stuff you're like, yep, that's me. And there's others that is so accurately like, shoot. Like, yeah, that's me too. And it just punches you in the gut almost. And so even I was finding when talking with other people about it, male or female, they would actually stop and listen because it was so accurate. Like you can't ignore it. You can't unlearn it once you hear it. And so started working with that. And now I work with companies, helping them with culture and with Enneagram, predominantly on the Enneagram side, just helping people see how they show up, understand why they clash with people, understand how two that are total opposites, which are your spoilers, your 2 numbers are opposites that we will talk about how those go together, but even how when you understand that, it can work really well. So yeah, that's what I do.
I'm curious, Kenzie, when you got into Enneagram, what role were you in? What were you doing? Why were you looking at this type of personality assessment?
Yeah, totally just again, I'm a nerd. I was doing it on my free time outside. I thought it was interesting. And then I went down rabbit holes and started finding things. So it wasn't actually part of my work when I started it. It was more of just a personal interest. And then the stars aligned for it to become, I fell into a role that they were thinking about making it be part of the role. And I just helped grow it.
Fun.
Kelly would call that manifestation of some
I would say.
kind.
Or just turning your passion into money, which is what we would like to do with this podcast. So
yeah.
My clients, my passion is you already. Yes. Have you ever taken, here's a question just for the group. Have you ever taken a personality test and then instantly weaponized it against people in your life?
Or just realize that your entire management style is just unresolved childhood coping mechanisms come to life as an adult.
Yep.
So tell
All of
us,
them.
so Kelly and I, because we're old and have been in corporate jobs and non-corporate jobs and have taken a billion personality tests, I've had, a couple of luxury cars worth of therapy. What is different about, like, because I've taken the DISC survey, I've taken the Now Discover Your Strengths, which, by the way, I have to say this, I reviewed those the other night. Discipline is last on my list of Now Discover Your Strengths. It is dead last.
Dear, this is funny because I think dead last on mine is empathy.
It's one of my top.
I was gonna say, which
The
is like
good news
first
is-
on Christy's.
The good news is Christy can't get shit done, and I could give a rat's ass how she feels about it. That's how I interpret those two things.
Okay, back
Okay.
to Kenzie. Sorry, Kenzie. So tell us what's different. What do you think is different about Enneagram versus like the Gallup or the DISC, or I don't even know. There's like one of my friends told me the other day, she was fighting with her sister in HR and she started using the FG. You're such an FNG, like whatever that thing is.
Myers-Briggs.
The Myers-Briggs. And I'm like, you're smart when you're fighting, you use your Myers-Briggs as a dig. Okay.
All 4 letters.
So how is Enneagram different, you think?
Yeah, so Enneagram is actually based on childhood. So your number forms from ages whenever you start remembering things to like 13 or 14. They say in some people it can be up to age 21. Typically that's on the male side, which they usually get offended when I say that. It's just like maturing speed. There's nothing wrong with that.
No offense, gents.
But so it go ahead.
Biting my tongue. No, go on.
Okay, so because it stems from that, it's different from the other tests because it's basically like you've had this pair of glasses on for your whole life. You didn't even know you had them on, let alone what pair of glasses someone else has on, because it's like subconscious at this point. It's just part of who you are. So it forms when an event or a series of events happen that makes you feel a certain way. So you change your behavior to not feel that way again. So it can be, maybe it was something like one big life altering thing, right? That's possible. Or it can be as simple as like what was focused on in your home? How did you get, reassurance or affirmation? Is it a lot of Enneagram threes, for example? They're the achievers. They maybe grades were really important. And if you were like top of your class, your parents were like, good job, keep going. Or, hey, where are you ranking? What are you doing? I had an Enneagram 3 client once that I was talking to about that. And, achievement is really important. And she started laughing. And I was like, what? And she said, I am 45 and I still to this day, if I get a promotion, my parents are the first people I call because I know they'll be proud of me. Because I'm like conditioned, right, to think that.
God.
So it can be, or like a 2, Christy, maybe, and you're in a big family, like there's lots of dynamics, but if you were helpful or giving, maybe you were either praised or recognized, or maybe like
Fed.
everyone else was happy if you like kind of kept everyone like, what'd you say?
Nothing. I just said or fed.
Or fed, sure.
Your prize is dinner. You're welcome.
So you like conditioned yourself to either like protect yourself from something or get more of something by acting a certain way. And so you just kept doing it. So it's like the core motivator behind all the decisions that you make. But again, it's so subconscious, you don't even realize it's the filter for everything that you do. So your number doesn't change. Go ahead.
It's interesting. I didn't actually realize that it was like pulling from the things that the foundation you built that young. But one of the things when empathy and recognition were kind of colliding within my team, so I lack it apparently, I shouldn't say that I lack it. It's not anywhere in my top 10 strengths. I have to forcibly pull it out of my soul. And my team was very much wanting to have recognition. And so one of the memories that I do have, and if you said it was like from 8 years old, I'm not even sure if I could remember that far back, but I do remember getting like 95 on a test and my father's response, and I don't know if he was joking, but his response was 95. What's wrong? You couldn't get 100. And so when it comes to recognition, specifically as a leader, I think I'm not wired that way. So what I have consciously started to do, and I did it with my kids as they got older, is say like, that's how I grew up. That's how I'm wired. So it's not to be like, wow, my God, amazing.
Well, I'm laughing because I got a 98 in geometry and had the same response. Although, first of all, before we get into you and I and our freaking weird dynamic, I would love, Kenzie, if you can tell us, like, what are the Enneagrams and like a sentence on each? Like, give us, like, I know it's so much more. I mean, my report was 48 pages, and I'm not going to lie. I put it in ChatGPT and said, what does this mean about me?
Please summarize for me, because I also have very short attention span.
I'm also highly ADD, which is funny because that actually does change. Like when you look at all of my personality tests and you layer in ADHD, you get a whole, I mean, you get a freaking chaos goblin. But anyways, doesn't matter. So if you would just tell us, like, what are the numbers? What do they mean?
Yep. So rapid fire. So there's 9. First one is the principled reformer, the Enneagram 1. They are black and white thinkers and processors. Everything to them is good or bad. So maybe when I'll run through these, one of the quickest ways, I like to think of like the loop in every number's head. And so because the same situation could happen to your whole team, Kelly, like you're talking about, or the two of you, and you'll both interpret it differently. Like you'll both beat yourself up in a different way in your head, basically. So 1, their core desire is to be right and good. They think everything, there's either right, wrong, good, bad, very black and white. 2, the considerate helpers or the helper, Enneagram 2, their core desire is to be loved or liked, depending on the situation. Enneagram 3, the competitive achiever, their core desire is to win and to feel valuable. Everything is a competition to them, but especially at work. Enneagram 4.
You for a second.
Yeah.
I'm also writing down which of my siblings, because there's 9 of us. I am writing down which of my siblings.
It would be fascinating if you had one of each in your family.
I'm going to make them do this test somehow. Keep going.
All right. Enneagram 4, the intense creative. So their core desire is to find themselves, like their unique significance. Like, why am I here? Why are we here? Like very deep thinkers and processors. Enneagram 5, the specialist or the quiet specialist, they want to be, their core desire is to be competent and capable. So accuracy is important and time is really important to them. They feel like there's this finite amount and they have to protect it accordingly. Enneagram 6 is the loyal skeptic. They want to be safe. They want to be secure. Sometimes can be misinterpreted. People think they're negative, but they always think in worst case scenario, it's not to be negative. They're just trying to prepare in case it does. Like they don't hope it does. They just want to have a plan if it does. Enneagram 7, the visionary or the enthusiast. And all of these Enneagrams have like different names, mean the same thing. So theirs is to be satisfied and content. They're always looking for what's next, like YOLO, glass half full, that type of thing. Enneagram 8, Miss Kelly, our protective challenger. A lot of people call them either just the challenger or I can't think of the other word, but I call them the protective challenger. I am protective of my 8s because if you know their heart, like
they're marshmallows on the inside.
Yeah. So their core desire is to protect themselves first, but it's also like protect their people. So if you're in with an 8, you're their people, like they got your back. And then Enneagram 9, they're the peacekeepers. So their core desire is to have peace. They want peace for themselves, but they want peace for the group. So with all the numbers, like a 9 wants peace for the group, but it's because if the group has peace, then they have peace. A 9 wants everyone to, a 2, like Christy wants everyone to be happy, but it's also because if everyone's happy, then they're happy.
Then they're happy. Yeah.
If your people are safe, Kelly, as an 8, then you're safe.
You're safe. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm codependent. Kelly. No, I was laughing. I did start to write some of my siblings in certain places, but then I stopped because I thought maybe that wasn't not necessarily unfair. But Melissa doesn't listen to the podcast, but I will tell you, Melissa's a 1. Melissa
Which is really like birth order isn't, they don't have scientific evidence on this, but like her being, I know she's the second oldest, but the older, like higher up and the oldest sister, like birth order can play a role in it.
And what does that tend to lend itself to as far as which type you are? If you are the eldest and you are the sister.
Yeah, typically 1s or 8s.
1s or 8s. Funny because I am the youngest and obviously the sister, but my eldest sibling is my sister. And as you're describing, I'm guessing she's probably like a 4. That's my
I'm
guess.
curious, like age gap too.
Although we're only 2 years apart, so it's not like
Okay.
we're tremendously different where she was having to teach me how to ride a bike and things like that, right? Like we're
Okay.
basically the same age growing up.
Yeah.
But she is definitely that deep thinking, creative, how do I fit in the universe? Sage my house and wear some crystals. No offense, Tam. That's my sister, which I'm guessing is probably a 4. Do you think that
4 is the most rare number. Fun fact.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
there you
Yep.
go. Well, that should be a compliment then, Tammy.
So yeah, let's in order of rarities, like, yeah, I'm curious. Sorry,
Yeah.
Kelly, you're gonna have a question, but
No.
then I have a stat that I need.
Okay, I need a statistic. You go. Let's go in
No.
order of common. What's most common?
And so I have 2 questions and answer them in whichever order you want. One is which ones are the most common? And 2, can you be more than one?
Okay.
Yeah, good question.
So most rare is 4, like we talked about Enneagram 4. Most common is Enneagram 9. However, based on the research that I've done and just experience over the last decade of doing this, is Enneagram 9 is the most common because people mistest or mistype as that because that's what they want to be or that's
Mm,
what they think. So maybe if you're not as self-aware, because a
you
9, remember, they're the peacekeeper. They're like, go with the flow, do what everyone needs. People are like, yeah, that's me. So they're answering the test like, oh, yeah, I totally help people. I totally do that.
yes,
Maybe not, right? Maybe the self-awareness
yes.
is not there. So it's the most common number. I personally don't think that that's accurate. I think it's due to mistyping or mistesting.
It's a fair comment. I mean, if you have taken any one of these personality tests, those are the questions where if you are not self-aware, like, oh yeah, I'm totally this. And if you ask 10 friends, it'd be like, are you on crack? You are nothing like that. So it does assume a little bit of self-awareness. I'm curious then, do you think, given this is based on childhood experience and have kids, obviously, I would say their childhood is vastly different than ours was growing up. Do you think there's a shift in the types and the prevalence of types given the society has changed or the way we raise kids has changed? Or do you think it would stay pretty still over time? You would still have the same distribution?
Are you asking if generationally the numbers change, the distribution changes?
Yeah. If we think over time because our parenting styles have changed or the environment we're growing up in has changed, does that also then shift the types and the prevalence of types?
Yeah, that's an amazing question. I haven't thought about that, but to me, it would make sense because I think people are doing more therapy. They are more aware of things. We are learning, like, why have we always done that? Or why have we never talked about these things? Or why, right? I feel like we're questioning more. Now I'm like, ooh, I gotta write this down. I want to dive into that.
Well,
Kenzie,
it's
do a book.
recorded.
But
This is
I think it would make sense, and I also think even in my own parenting style, so I'm a 2 like Christy, I'm a helper, and I've even started to notice obviously, you can't control what number your kids are, right? It forms, but I've even noticed, 2s apologize all the time, and then we say sorry for saying sorry because someone's like, "Don't say sorry." And like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And it's just I don't know about you, Christy, right? And so I even with my daughter, I really watch her and not too long ago, she wanted me to braid her hair for a volleyball tournament. And so I was like, yep, grab the stuff, all sounds good. So she comes in, she had the ponytails and whatever, and she forgot the brush. And so I said, oh, do you have the brush? And she's like, no, mom, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I forgot the brush. I'll go get the brush. And was like panicked. And I'm like, hold on, like time out. We're good. It's just a brush. I'm not upset. We got time. Like it's all good. So we had to talk about like, we're not going to apologize for things that we just forgot. That's not a big deal. Right. So like to me, that felt like an Enneagram 2 thing. And so I was trying to unravel some of those things. To your point, Kelly, I think is a lot of what parents are doing now.
think the core motivation, right, for a 2, it's like, of course, I mean, mine is, and also I want to know, Kenzie, what's Dane, your husband?
He's a 9 peacekeeper.
He's a 9. So that your
9.
house is just the happiest fucking
Yeah, I
place
was
in the
just
world,
gonna
isn't it?
say that feels like
It
that would
works
be a
pretty well.
very stable house. Now I
I'm
need my husband to do his so I could be like, what's going on in here?
We need to. I totally want to know what Andrew's is.
Well, I would have said this like type like a 7 booked a vacation instead of processing emotions. Feels like Andrew, but we all know he wouldn't book the vacation. He'd make me fucking do it.
God bless you, Andrew. You have the best life ever. Just remember that. But what's funny, because I'm thinking, Kenzie, as we're talking about this, right? It gets deeply personal very quickly, right? Because you're from a family of divorce, right? And so you've had, and so in some ways, and hopefully you know my family story, so we won't get into that. But like, I mean, but there are some similarities. I think I don't know. Jenny's somewhere. I think Jenny's also. I think my other middle sister is also a 2.
That's what I would.
Although Jenny has gotten, what's interesting to me is that you say that the Enneagram doesn't change. Both the DISC survey I did and the Gallup with the now discover your strengths, those have changed for me. Not a
Yes.
ton,
Yep.
but they have changed over time. And I think but it's funny because I can't get away from the damn 2. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't be anything other than a 2. How I feel like maybe things I've gotten better. I mean, they're still kind of the same ones, by the way, Kelly. Empathy is number 3 on my
On your strengths finder.
it's communication, woo, empathy, strategy, and individualization or some shit.
I'm wondering if it was about like the types changing because that is what something is different because it stems from your childhood. It doesn't change. Those others do change because they're more situational. The other tests measure, and it's not right or wrong. I'm just saying the difference. They measure like how you act, and the Enneagram is like the why and the
Why?
motivation behind it, and that
Yeah.
doesn't change, right?
Yeah.
And so, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I have also StrengthsFinder. I probably had done through work for the last 6 years, and I find it very interesting. I am communication shocker, communication woo, strategic, positivity activator. And so when we did the last StrengthsFinder in like 23, and I had changed my function, and the type of role that I was in was more in getting people aligned and together on a mission.
Mhm.
And I lost my positivity. So I was 3 years into the US, and I'm like, dear America, what have you done to me? Like, you stripped me of my positivity. But in place of positivity was,
Activator?
no, I was always activator. It's something like collaboration or something like that, which was like, oh, okay, well, duh, that's actually the job I'm in, and that's what I'm doing. So you're kind of pulling on us. You have all of the strengths. It's just in a varying degree. So it's like, oh, I'm just pulling on the thing that I need more in this role. So I'm adapting the things that I pull out of my toolbox more often. But I was happy when we did it recently, like a month and a half ago. I did it with my team because I love doing these. And my positivity was back in number 4. And I was like, fuck yeah. Because I
Back,
am
baby.
definitely
So,
glass half full.
This is what's interesting, and now I want Kenzie's opinion on this. So I just pulled up my strength finder because I messed him up. Mine is communication, woo. Our top 2 are the same. That's so fun.
And that's so fun.
Activator, empathy,
Same.
and positivity.
So the only thing is that my strategy and your empathy.
And strategy dropped to 9 on my list. So, because they say look at your top 10, right? And we're getting
Yeah.
away from Enneagrams. But my point is that while Kelly and I have, and we're going to get into this because I want to know what Kenzie has to think about why the hell we work together. But what's interesting is that how you show up, right? And like what you're kind of good at is very different than who you are at your core and what your core motivations are,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So, Kenzie, one of the things I noticed in reading the description of the 8 is this can definitely relate to the 8's incompetence, it said. I'm like, fucking right, I do. But this can intimidate people without realizing it. Can you tell me what in this style, maybe where that stems from, and then what that looks like? Like, why is it intimidating?
Yeah. Yeah. So, Enneagram 8s, you guys have an intensity about you at all times because it all stems from authenticity or trust. Like, that is the most important thing to an Enneagram 8. So, they always have this shield or armor up. And I call it like the BS meter, for lack of a better term, for everything and everyone. It's not personal to anyone. It's nothing, you're not trying to, like, it is for everything all the time. Like, what is that person? Why'd they say that? What are they doing that? What does that mean? If you're in a meeting, if you're at the store, like, it doesn't matter. Your guard is always up because your core desire is to protect yourself, right? And so you're always questioning things, and all you want is the truth and authenticity. No matter how ugly it is, no matter how bad it hurts, it doesn't matter. You want that. So that how information comes in our brains is how it comes out. So you are always filtering things people say to try to get to the truth. So when you speak, you only speak the truth and authenticity and directness. And most people don't communicate that way, right? So you'll say something that's what like Enneagram 8s move towards confrontation. They move towards the elephant in the room. That's actually their way of showing love. So they're not trying to make people mad. They're not trying to ruffle feathers or like drop a bomb and walk away. What they're trying to do is like, I'll say the hard thing. I'll make the hard decision. I'll say the thing everyone is thinking and no one is going to say, like, I'll do it. So it's actually their way of showing love. You're like putting yourself in front of that. And so you don't want people to communicate with any, like, don't like, hey, Kelly, do you have a second? Can I talk to you about something? You're already like, why are they being weird? What are they saying? Like, what? Get like
Yeah,
your guard is
get to the
already
point.
up. Yeah,
What's
right.
the
Very
matter?
true.
Yes. And so, but if someone came to you like, Kelly, this was wrong, you need to fix it. You will not be offended at all.
Yes.
So when
Yeah.
you're communicating, there's no sugarcoating, but there's also no emotion behind what you're saying. So if you're telling someone they did something wrong or that was messed up or whatever, you're not actually mad. You're just like, fix it and figure it out and move on. Like there's no
Yeah.
emotion behind it. But
Yeah, and
people put emotion into it without realizing.
without realizing, and I would say the other thing is there's no ulterior motive either. Like
Right.
I am
No. Because you're all about
literally
authenticity.
asking this thing, and there's no 14 different layers
hidden
of the
agenda.
story behind it. Yes.
But
Okay.
I
Thank you.
think that's where the how comes in for you, Kelly, right? Because communication is so high on your strengths.
Mm.
Because I think that there is a way to do things. And yes, you are very direct. You do not give shit sandwiches. You're like, hey, why is this? If anyone doesn't know what a shit sandwich is, we all know what a shit sandwich is,
Yeah,
right?
we do.
Okay.
You've been handed one for sure. You just maybe didn't realize it.
I mean, I've handed them out and I'm like, dang it, stop doing that, Christy. But I think, and I'm going to be fiercely defensive of Kelly, but the protector in you to say the things that other people don't want to say and to communicate very clearly and without a lot of extra to it, I think it protects people from their feelings.
Yeah.
Like I'm a feeler, right? I mean, I have everyone's feelings, my feelings, your feelings, Kenzie's feelings, everyone's feelings. But when you've ever given me advice or feedback, and you've been my client, right? You've given me some feedback, which I'm like, fuck off. But not really. Never did I ever get
No.
off a call with you frustrated, ever. But it's just done in such an authentic way that it's not like, oh, Kelly's being a bitch today. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I appreciate that because it's funny when you use the words trust and authenticity to describe sort of what it is we want out of the universe. That is actually the platform that I lead with as a leader. Like, I want clarity. I want you to be confident. And I am always going to lean in authenticity and build trust. It is just what I say. And so it's so interesting. It's like, oh, okay. You. I
Check.
can't change
And
this.
I'm really damn funny, so I'll probably make you laugh before you leave.
The good news is that that's going to be a fun time. I like this because I think Christy and I have talked a bit, and I know you listen to the podcast, so you'd have heard it. In my last year before my sabbatical, it was this sort of crisis of conscience when the leadership direction was going in a way that is completely the opposite of my own. And I started to question, oh, maybe I've been doing it wrong this whole time. But now that you're saying, like, this is actually who you've been since you were a little girl, there's no wonder I couldn't reconcile, like, trying to shift in that direction. That I might as well have tried to be a giraffe. Like, I was going to have
No.
just as much success changing who
Maybe
the
a
fuck I
mouse.
am.
Maybe a mouse.
I
No,
am
but truly, that's one of my favorite things about 8s too. They'll say what needs to be said, but if they don't believe in something, like, they just will not go along with it. Like, there's no, "Well, it's fine," or like, "No, they're higher up than me, so I should do it." Like, An 8 is not doing that. And that also like, standing up for people is not just your people in your circle. I've seen 8s out in public. Maybe someone's being rude to a waitress, not even their table, and an 8's like, "Don't speak to her that way." No.
Yeah.
Like, they will stand up for anyone getting treated unfairly.
I'm an 8 on that one, Kelly.
I was just going to say that's a Christy for sure.
Well, but we
in
go to
public.
8 in stress. Who's go to 8 in stress?
Wait, hold on. Oh, okay. Hold up. Wait, back that up. What? Say what?
Yeah,
Because
so that's why I'm saying
Kelly and I, and we look like polar opposites, right? I'm like, but please
Yeah, tell us
because
about that.
we're
So-
also,
go ahead.
I have seen Kelly. What I will say about this, one of the things that I love the most about Kelly, and I think anyone who's ever worked with or for her that wasn't an asshole, because if you're an asshole, you're just out of the equation. She is fiercely protective of her people. And that as a leader, I think is maybe the top skill that you have to be that protective of your people. Not that you won't hold them accountable, not that you won't do what needs to be done, but my God, do not come after Kelly's people. You will not have a good day.
You will not have a good day. Thank you. Let's get into this, like subconscious
thing.
or under stress. 8, 2 goes to an 8.
Yeah.
Because I kind of feel like you became a 2 because of whatever stress it was that you were raised in. So tell me about that.
Yeah. So high level, I said you guys are opposites, 2 and 8, and you are, but it's like you're the same coin, just opposite sides. That's why you complement each other so well. So at a high level, a 2, you said it, Kelly, like, I don't have empathy. Like, I don't have an empathetic bone. And Chrissy's got enough for the whole world, right? And so she can help soften you and help you see other perspectives or help like bring some of that gray to, because to 8s, everything's black and white. And to 2, everything is gray. Like, we don't know how to be in black and white, right? And so you can help bring to her the black and white clarity, like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to set a boundary. We're going to say no, that's not right, or whatever. Like, don't
Set a
feel bad.
boundary.
Yes, and she
But
can
it's
bring to
hard.
you some softness, right? But Christy, you can also bring to Kelly, like 8s, because they want trust and authenticity. They don't like to be vulnerable at all, because vulnerable, it means you're raw, right? You're
You're
exposed.
weak.
You're not safe. Yes, or weak. No, that's perfect.
Kelly, you did not just say vulnerable followed by weak.
That's how an 8 feel. No, that's literally how they feel. That's true.
Yes. And my actual intelligent brain is like, Kelly, the two things are not the same. Vulnerability is not weakness. And I tell myself that and I practice it now. But in the core of who I am, do I think it shows a bit of weakness? My motto is don't cry in front of boys. I tore my ACL in a volleyball game full of men and just said, I'm fine. Just put me over to the sideline and then grab some snow and I'll put it on my knee, and sat there for 2 hours. And when all the game was over and everyone was gone, bawled my fucking eyes out because it hurt. But
Be
go
like,
on.
someone carry me off the court. This hurts.
the
I need
game.
an ambulance
Everybody stop.
immediately.
Stop what you're doing. It's a crisis. I'm like, I'm fine. Just keep playing.
First of all, were you in Canada because you put snow on it?
Well, yeah, it was the middle of winter. So I'm like, just go outside and grab some snow in a bag and I'll hold it on my knee.
Very resourceful.
Okay, so if a
Can
2
you
goes
unpack,
to an
Kelly?
8, yeah, let's unpack this. If a 2 goes to an 8, what does an 8 do? If we're two sides of a coin, do I go into
So
a 2?
an 8 goes to 2 in health. So she comes to you in stress and you go to her number in health.
So when I feel safe, I
Then
turn
you're open,
into
then
an
you're vulnerable, then
empathetic,
you're
mushy
empathetic.
girl. That makes so much sense because for my friends, like my real core friends, they know the marshmallow on the inside. And I know that they're not going to, I'm going to use the word tease me for it, and I don't mean it, but they're not going to tease me for it. They're not going to look at me any differently,
But I
knowing
think
that
you
on the
do mean
inside
it.
I'm
Like,
marshmallow.
I
Yeah,
think you do. That
I
literally
do.
is, I think it's helpful. No, I'm serious. Like, to
Yeah.
say the word
Fair.
tease,
Yeah.
because it's good to see in your perspective, and like Christy, and for other numbers to know. To us as 2s, empathy is how we connect. Like, that is our tool. Like, we'll share anything if it'll help someone feel seen, feel connected. Like, we'll share anything. It does not matter. And so an 8, yeah, you're afraid. Like, don't use this against me. Like, where are you going? What will you do with this information?
How
That fair?
fantastic. Do you think that's also true then? Because what I do find, and you're right, Christy, I am fiercely protective of my teams, protective of people coming after them, but also protective in that I want them to feel so protected that they can do their very best and I got their back. And when we get into that scenario, when the team has been built and we're jiving on that front, I definitely pull out the vulnerability way more and I share way more. And I don't second guess it. I'm just kind of like, here, guys, I'm going to tell you, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Like I start to share more than, and I don't think, oh my God, they're going to think I'm weak. Is that what's happening? Is I'm now in this, I've built the safety in the team and now I feel like I can turn a little more too on? What?
Yep.
I love
So
this.
you let
Right.
people, because with 8s, so it's like a brick wall. Like, you have to like earn your way through. And when you're in, like, you are in. Like, they will it's like a ride or die, but it's also a one strike, you're out. If you lose that with an 8, you ain't never coming back. Like,
Shit.
nope.
Christy's like, this is too much
No
stress.
pressure, Christy.
Don't fuck it up,
Well,
Christy.
I want to go, and not to take it to me, but it's also
No,
my
let's.
favorite topic. No, it's interesting because so I am a 2. I'm a 2 through and through. But when I am in a position of stress or where things rely on me, I notice that I will drift towards maybe the unhealthy traits of an 8, like demanding, intense, confrontational. Like, I'm super sweet, but don't fuck with me. Especially don't mess with the people that I protect. So, and maybe that's not true, Kenzie. Maybe that's a different thing with me. But I do. You said the same side of one coin. That maybe I'm wrong there, but I do see myself when there's crisis and when there is like things are on the line, I will take control.
Yep.
And not mean, right? But I
Right.
will confront what needs to be confronted. I will like be okay with you being uncomfortable if it's for the betterment of everyone around you. And so is that a true is that a true dynamic? Is that something
Yeah.
that happens? Am I just full of shit?
No,
Yes.
so because with you go into the stress side, but also like knowing the stress and health, each number that you go to, you can still take on the best qualities of even your stress number, if that makes sense. So it's like you're still a 2 in the, caring and kind and want to be loved. And you can go into the unhealthy side of an 8, right? But if you learn the numbers well enough, you can learn to pull out the best parts where it's like you're direct, you're still respectable and whatever, but you're direct and like, no, like, I'm not playing around anymore. Like, it's time to go, right?
Yeah.
So you can lean into those two. There's also, I'm gonna throw one more
Yes.
one more term at you. So there's wings. So your wings are the number on either side of your number and they don't change. Think of it like a bird, like they are like connected to you. So these are like extra tools that you have in your tool belt that you need to lean into. So Christy, your wings would be 1 and 3. Kelly, your wings would be 7 and 9.
So they're actually not they follow the number. So 7 and
Yep. It just goes like in a circle order. So the reason I bring this up, Christy, based on what you just said, some of that could be like the 8 that you're going to, but it also could be the 1 wing
I think
where
it's
it's
the
like
one wing.
black and white, direct, like I'm not messing around. Kelly, I like with yours, I feel like your 7 wing is really strong. So we have a dominant wing. Typically, you have a dominant wing, and then you have what's more of like a stretch wing that you don't really utilize, but you should, because if you have your core number and then your wings, it like completes the triangle, right? It's it's like bringing out all the best parts. So Kelly, when reading through, I hope it's okay to share this, but like
Yeah.
what you sent from chat with all of your reports, it talked about you like starts a lot of projects or something like that, like
Yeah.
maybe not finishing or something.
Not always, no, because like I'm like, oh, I've lost interest in that one.
Bored now.
Yeah. So to me, that's more of your 7 wing. It's bringing out that like YOLO, what's next? Like, ooh, this is new. This is fun. Let me try that. Like 7s don't typically finish things. And this isn't to bash on 7s. Like their gift is like starting things and new and exciting. And like they'll try things that no one has tried. Like, I don't care. Yeah, sure. I'll give it a try. Like they're not afraid to do it. That's more of your 7 wing than an 8 is pretty like because they want control. They usually do follow through and finish things or make sure someone finishes it so it's complete.
So
Yeah.
your 7 started the podcast, but your 8's making you do it.
Do it. Yeah, it's funny. And I have this work friend who became a great friend. And we were such a good combo because I am the big ideas and which direction should we go in. And she is execution. So I am really good at rallying a team around an idea. Let's fucking go. Like everybody's like, that's it. Yeah, let's do it. And then I'm like, oh, minutia and a spreadsheet.
Boring.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah.
Don't give me the file cabinet or the
Yeah.
spreadsheet. I don't want them.
I don't want to project manage this. Somebody else, please, not it.
Do you think I wonder though, and I want to ask you about which one do you think is a stronger wing for me, the principal reformer or the achiever? I have my hypothesis, but I would love to hear yours. But Kelly, I think some of two in as you change your role, right? When you get into things that you're good at, like when you get to discover your strengths, right? The things that you're good at, you at a younger age, you have to manage the shit you don't like to do, right?
Mhm.
That you're not naturally good at. Like anything administration for me is harder than writing a presentation about any sort of strategy because it makes me want to kill myself. But
Hypothetically.
what?
Hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically. No, listen, I mean, seriously, people are like, why don't you just do it? I'm like, because it stresses me out. Like, they're like, it's a form. You just have to fill it out. I'm like, I don't know why I can't do it. I'm going to go over here and write something that feels better to me. So, really quick on that, though, which one do you think is my stronger rank?
I think the 3. Because didn't you test on the free test you took? I think you got did you get a 3 or a 7?
I got a 7-3. Like I got like a weird
They were close.
7-3
Yeah.
7-3 combo. And
Yeah.
I think I answered, like I try really hard on those tests to like answer them very honestly. But to me, that does make sense. The achiever makes sense because also if you dig into me a little bit, that like in just in general who I am, one of the things I work on is not having to achieve to be loved, right?
Yep.
That
Yep.
the act of love should come without any action, right? It doesn't mean that I have to do something nice for you after whatever. Like,
You don't have to earn it.
but and also, like, I fucking love to win. Okay, I love to win. I
Well,
love
I was
to
gonna say,
win.
the
I love it.
competitive
I love
side,
it.
but also even an entrepreneur, most business owners are 3, 7s, or 8s. So I think even you, like your path to starting your own business and everything was definitely your 3 wing.
Just
Strong.
a total accident. That's what it was. Okay,
Well,
so I want to.
you definitely have that. Let's remember you bought everything you needed to start gardening. You probably figured out a way you could sell all of your goods on Etsy or some sort of farmer's market, and you hadn't even started it, nor you know how to fucking keep a plant alive. So I'm like, this is amazing. She's got all the ways to monetize this hobby. She just hasn't started the hobby yet.
Listen, Kelly, it's sitting here waiting for you in my garage to come plant Colton his
Come
garden.
plant it.
Because then I also, but in my defense, I had $30,000 worth of
Foundation work.
Foundation work.
That
I know that.
right before Christmas. Merry Christmas, Christy. Okay,
I can attest to the softness of the carpet in the basement, though. It was quite fabulous.
It is fantastic carpet. Kenzie, I have to ask a question. This might be a little too personal, and you can of course say no, and we'll delete it from the podcast. No, we probably won't. But anyways, so knowing, I mean, you're so into this, right? And date your husband's a 9, and you're a 2. Have you ever used this? Have you used your Enneagrams when resolving conflict? I mean, I don't know if you have conflict because you've like the 2 most peaceful people in the world over here.
No, it's so helpful because when he first took the test, we'd been together, I don't know, over a decade at that point. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting, but like, what new am I going to learn? Like, I know this guy inside and out, right? Well, I found the Enneagram 9s, peacekeepers, they don't like to make decisions, like at all. Big decisions or little decisions. And so as a 2, I want everything to be personalized, birthdays, whatever it is. Like I want it to be exactly what that person would like, make them feel seen, right? And so I would find on his birthday, I'm like, okay, what do you want to do? He's like, what do you want to do? I wasn't born, you were. Like I'm celebrating you. I'm so confused why you're asking me what I want to do, right? But even learning this made me realize no, literally, it would be more of a gift to him just to plan the whole thing and him not have to make any decisions at all. Like that is more of a gift, right? So also we use it. Can I throw in another topic? Are you guys?
You can
Yeah.
do whatever you want.
Okay.
God
So
forbid we
every
should
number,
stay on topic.
every
This
number,
is the most on topic we've ever stayed, Kenzie.
Exactly. We're
Proud of you.
46 minutes in and we have not veered. So,
I'm
and I feel
proud
like
of you.
this isn't going to be a true pivot. This is just going to be tangential. You're like,
This
hi,
is
Bart.
an enhancement. So every number lives in either the past, the present, or the future. So that is helpful to know about yourself, but also in the dynamics that you're in. So I'll stick on my husband and I topic for a second, and then we can talk about yours. But he lives in the past as a 9, and as a 2, I live in the present. So when a number lives in the past, it's also a correlation to their speed in which they process things. Not a competency thing. It's like how much time they need to slice and dice and figure out how they feel about it. So as a 2, I'm in the present. I want to solve everything like right now. Let's talk about it. Let's get it. And then like literally can't move on or even reflect back until like, no, I'm right here and I got to have the answers so that I can move on, right? Well,
Guilty.
yeah, so people that live in the past, they actually, it's not just about reflection. They like to think about, like, say there's a meeting coming up. They would love to have, before the meeting, what are we going to talk about? So they can start thinking about it. During the meeting, they're probably not going to talk. They're just listening and taking it in, thinking about it more. And then after the meeting, they need to think about it again. And then within a day or two, or however, whatever their speed is, then they're like, okay, here's what I think we should do. Or what if we did this? Like, then they have things to add to it.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
And again, remember,
I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is already your
well,
scenario is already annoying me.
well, Kelly, you live in the future as an 8, which we'll talk about. So we're 2s, right? We feel things. We know when something's off. So I'm like, I feel like something's wrong. Well, 9s also are never thinking about themselves. So they're like, I don't think so. I'm like, yes, it is. Something is wrong. I know. And he's like, I really don't think it is. Because he genuinely doesn't think, which can be common for an 8, Kelly, as well, too, because they don't tap into that side. Like, I think I'm good. Like, nothing's wrong. I'm like locked in. I'm good to go. Right. So we would call it the 2-day rule in our house, because if it were up to me, we would like, no, we're talking about it right now and we're going to solve this. And if it were up to him, we'd probably never talk about it. So I'm like, okay, 2 days. You got 2 days to like think about it, reflect, and then we will talk about it. So that's one thing that's been good, of like, I'm not like, like hovering to get it solved, but I'm like, but we will talk about it and we will solve it. But I'm giving him the time.
Therapist once told me that we did the DISC survey instead, right? And my ex was, I'm a high D, high I, right? And he was a high SC, which he basically was incapable of making decisions. And so I want to get into it right now. Like, let's figure it out. Let's move forward. And he didn't ever want to talk about it. And so the therapist was like, you just need to tell her when you'll be ready to talk about it. Like, you don't have to give her the answer. You don't have to say what's happening, but she has to know that by Thursday at 8 p.m., you will have this conversation, or else she's going to spin.
Yeah.
And spin I do.
Because you can't move forward. You stay in that present until it's solved.
No.
Yep.
I have a question. And I love that wasn't even a pivot. But I love the idea.
That's another layer.
God, she's just amazing how you stay on topic. Teach us your ways. Why? Tell me which, like, let's do, like, when you have zodiac signs. Okay, which numbers work better together and why? Like, give me some numbers that work really well together, both in friendships and
work. Yeah.
well,
like
and
both,
work. Like, I mean,
right?
but I think, I mean,
personal life and professional life.
like workplace pairings, like who should be together and who shouldn't.
You're probably not going to like this answer because I don't have a specific type. Because to me, actually, with the Enneagram, I think any number can work together and any number can clash, right? If you're not aware and you're not talking about it. Because I think even you could have, Christy, you said, I think Jenny is a 2, or even you and myself, we are both 2s. We're still different people, right? And so there's still different layers to it. So I actually think any number can complement each other, can work together well, because Enneagram helps you understand, like, that's why Christy needs to solve it right now. Oh, that's why Kelly said that. Maybe a little more blunt than I would, but because she wants authenticity and that's what she expects from me, right? So it's like you can, if you're using that filter all the time, but it also helps you don't want to steer that too far where it's like if someone's being disrespectful or making you mad, like you still need to have a conversation. But the Enneagram also helps you have conversations in a more productive way. I know if I'm talking to Kelly, I'm going straight in, I'm going to let her know, hey, I have some feedback to give you. I'm going to get straight to the point. It's going to be concise and clear. And if she says she's good, like that's all. And then I'm walking away. I know with Christy, if I'm giving feedback to a 2, I'm going to do a little connection. Like I'm going to let her know, like, hey, we're going to have some, like also letting her know it's coming. But I'm going to connect first because like people is how they get their energy and their worth and their value. So I'm going to do a quick connection. But I'm also going to try to give the feedback to a 2 as quick as possible because remember, 2s have like a spidey sense. Like they already know something is off. Either they did something wrong or they can feel someone's off. So like the longer, sometimes people are like, oh, I don't want to give 2 a feedback because I don't want to hurt their feelings. Like, you're making it worse by drawing it out because they already know something is off. Like just say it.
What types then trigger each other? Because there are, like, obviously we might be 2 sides of the same coin, but there are other coins in the pocket. So are there types that typically will trigger each other a bit more?
I mean, I think any types, I know you guys are like asking a specific. I just think there's so many ways to slice and dice this. I mean, 2 and 8s, you guys can absolutely trigger each other. It can be maybe Kelly gets on the call, like, all right, what are we talking about today? And Christy's like, hi, how are you? Like,
Yeah,
thanks.
good,
Like,
thank
she's
you.
like triggered because she's like, I want to connect with you for like, I can't get straight into it. I need to like feel you out. I need to see what your vibe is today, right?
So
Or
we're
maybe,
either a powerhouse duo or like an emotional hostage situation.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Yeah, basically, right? Or like we were talking about how different people process. Like Kelly, you would be triggered by like, oh my gosh, why are we spending so much time on this? Like, let's go, make a decision. Where other people would be triggered if you're like, why are you rushing me? Like, I'm not ready to talk about it yet. Like, I'm not ready to, right? So it's like
Yes.
we're all constantly triggering each other, but even the same type. Like even because it depends on your mood of the day and even who you are as that number and your awareness. So even Christy and I could trigger each other, and we're both twos. So
Jenny and I trigger each other all the time. It's like the best part of my day is to trigger Jenny. Question for you in what you do, and this gets back to what you do for a living, right? How is what you do received, or is it received differently by males and females?
honestly, it's about the same because I think it is so accurate and you can't ignore it that no matter male, female, if you're like a skeptical person, if you're a feeling person, when it's described, it feels like it hits something for every person where they're like, I very rarely get pushback on it, no matter what, just because it's so in your face, I guess.
Can I ask when you do the test then? So if I said to Andrew today, hey, you're going to take this test and we're going to just figure out the personality type, he will go into it with equal parts of skepticism and this is fucking stupid. How does that impact the results if you're coming into it with less of an open mind? Because I go into all of these with like curiosity and the most open mind. But in this particular test, does how you go into the test impact what comes out at the back end?
I mean, yeah, I can because it can only base the answers based on what you're giving it, right? So kind of like how I said nines are really commonly mistyped or too many people type as that because they're not being honest. It can be the same the
Hmm.
other way. I will say though, in your example of like the skepticism side, those have been some of my like the biggest supporters of Enneagram because they go in like, this thing doesn't know me. They answer it honest because
Yeah.
usually people that are skeptical are very honest and black and white. And then they get the answers and they're like, okay, so tell me more about this thing then. Like they're curious, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the skepticism, I don't think would throw it off as much. It's more just the people that aren't as aware um, that could skew it more.
It's the laid back people that are like, I don't care, it's fine. It's the what
Yeah.
is that? Is that a 7? No, is that a 9? 9.
Nines or sevens, depending on the situation.
And I this is science, and it's a science, it's a soft science, it's kind of everything. But are there anything like fun? Like again, I'm taking it back to the zodiac signs, which I probably should. Kenzie's like, Christy, you are minimizing what I do to a level
No,
that
you're
I
good.
can't. But this is a fun podcast, damn it. Are there any like numbers that tend to fall in love easier, or like number like should I be looking for a certain number? No, I'm just kidding. But like, are there any like fun, just interesting facts about different numbers when they're together?
Yeah. Okay, fall in love easiest. I mean, twos, that can partly be us because, but to me, it's not as much about like falling in love. Twos, we want to, like, we think we can fix and save and rescue
Ooh, that's
everyone
bad.
and that we're supposed to.
Kinsey, that's not a good dating strategy.
I know it's not. I'm saying you said who falls in love easily, and I'm
No.
saying
Okay.
that's a way, like twos do, but it's for the wrong reason, right?
I meant do twos fall for 8s and 9s for puppies and twos for. I'm just making this ridiculous at this.
God, I don't know.
Yeah, let's not.
And Christy's new pickup line is going to be, what's your number? And when they start rhyming off their phone number,
Like,
and she's
nuh-uh.
like, nah, bro, please
1 through
answer
9.
these 132 questions.
Is that what it was? 132? It was kind of a long one.
It's a lot.
It is kind of a long one. Okay, I withdraw the question. We can move on. It was not a smart question.
Well, okay, let's flip the script a little bit and go into growth and self-awareness because we're all about that, right? So what are some perhaps unhealthy patterns? So you're both twos, I'm an 8. What are the unhealthy patterns that might emerge in either of those two numbers that we should be on the lookout for?
Yeah. So I think first, just understanding how the stress usually shows up in people, because obviously that can look different in each number, but even each individual, and it takes people different amounts of time to get into quote unquote stress. So, one of the easiest ways I think to think about it is it's like the things that normally bring you joy or are your gifts or that maybe you're proud of or easy to do are the things that start making you resentful or angry. So, for a two, how I know when I'm starting to get into that, we love to help people, right?
Mhm.
And maybe if in my head, I'm like, oh, well, they didn't even say thank you. Or like, don't worry, I don't need any help. Like, I'm fine. Thanks for asking because we help everyone else, right? So it's like when I
Preach.
start, what?
Preach, Kenzie,
Yeah.
preach.
So when
She's
I
like, you're
start
reading my mind.
like giving because I feel like I need to do it for someone to like me or whatever, it's not freely like I normally do. That's when I know now with Enneagram, like, okay, slow your roll. You need to probably be setting some boundaries. You need to be saying no, look at your to do list, things like that. For eight, that could look like in stress, maybe it's because you are the protector and normally you're proud of that, but it's like, why do I always have to say the hard stuff? Like, why do I always have to be the bad guy? Why do I always have to make the decisions? Why do I, right? So
Mm,
it's like, again, looking at your superpowers or your strengths, and typically when those start making you feel any way but satisfied or accomplished, that's when you know.
that's interesting. I definitely would say I feel that resentment building for the very thing that normally gives me energy. And then it's kind of like, that's a great call out. Okay, so we get to this phase, we're feeling that way. How do we pull back? How do you correct that? Do you just need to take a time out with a glass of wine in your bed? Like, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, I mean, for each person and each number, it's different. And for reference, Kelly, eights go to the unhealthy side of a five in stress.
And what would
Um,
that be?
so you're
We have
like
not talked about
withdrawing.
fives.
You're like withdrawing, kind of brain fog, uncompromising, 'cause I think sometimes eights can get mislabeled about being uncompromising. You will actually listen to any point of view, any like, you want people to argue back or, like, push back.
Debate,
You don't
yeah.
want people to go with the flow, like, "No, tell me how you actually feel. Tell me why this is wrong. Tell me why this is right." But if you are, like, digging your heels in, like, "Nope, this is what we're doing, like, I'm not list la, la, la," that, or if an eight doesn't have an opinion on something, I'm like, "Is everything okay?" Like, because you do, you always have an opinion and something to say, which is one of the best qualities. So, I think
Christy's like, fact.
I'm really trying to think if there was ever a moment where I said something to you that you didn't have, like, if I ever asked you something, you're like, "I don't know what I think about that." No, that's
Well,
never
I can
happened. Never happened.
no, I can definitely say in the unhealthiest environment, I said that completely grammatically incorrectly, but in those moments, withdrawal and apathy, it's just kind of like, I don't give a shit, which is for me a bad sign. It's like, ooh, this is not a good place for me. But I agree with you. You're kind of like, I don't care.
If you don't have an
In
opinion, something's seriously wrong.
Yeah, and I remember actually in the hardest part of the last couple of years, one of my colleagues had come to me and said, "We need your voice in the room. Like you're just not even your voice isn't in the room. We need your sparkle back. I miss that. We need your voice in the room." And I didn't realize that I had toned down what I would normally be saying. And it wasn't because I was afraid to say it. I think I just was like, "If you guys are going to do whatever you're going to do anyway, so press on. I'll take notes." That's interesting.
But Kelly, you know what though, too? And I haven't been able to do that in a long time because I do work for myself. But when I have been on teams, I'm passionate and I'm like, I'll hear your point. But there gets to a point that I'm just like, and I think maybe this is an Enneagram, maybe it's something else, the point where you're just like, if people like you or I get to a point where we're apathetic or don't have an opinion, you got a real problem on your hands
Yeah,
from a company perspective or a project perspective.
for sure.
Because
For
that
sure.
means there is something so toxic happening that, like, I'm not giving any empathy, you're not giving any like, where we're both that has to be
That's
I
the death knell.
it is. If you have a Kelly and I in a room or on a project and we are no longer talking or whatever, know that you are in toxic sludge, my friends, because it ain't a good place. That's not a good place to be.
And I can say, because I do tend to just share and my BS meter wick is short. At the time, I was like, hey, listen, I'm going to tell you guys because I am, and this must be my 9 wing. I must use this once in a while because I am also usually the office therapist. Everyone, it's a literal open door and people come to me and I really value that they feel that trust. And that's probably why I value it so much, but they do come to me and share and vent. And I love that. But I was the temperature. And so I said, listen, the team has moved from fear to anger to anxiety, and they are now approaching apathy. And that is the worst place to be. And I was just like, I'm telling you, now fuck around and find out. But I'm telling you, this is where we are approaching DEFCON 5, apathy.
Apathy is DEFCON. Apathy is death. Okay,
Which
so
also for you, Christy, as a 2, same thing. Even for 2s, it's like we'll give and give and give and give and give, but when we get to a point where it's either not appreciated, seen, reciprocated, received, anything, kinda like remember I said with an 8 strike, 1 strike, you're out. For 2s, it's more like 17 strikes, but when you get to the 18th strike, like, there's no coming back, like,
I
and it's
really
not
mean
we're
it this
not
time.
mad, it's not emotional,
Uh.
we are just done, like, we're done. That's it.
Well, you said that Christy goes to an 8 in stress, so that makes sense. Like you're a 2 and a 2 and a 2, and then you're like, nah, we're an 8, and now I got no more
Boundaries.
time for this. Yeah.
yeah, and I think, and honestly, and I'm gonna be vulnerable, Kelly. As a 2, we do give a lot, and I love to give, and it's not that I give so that I get praised. It's not that I give. It's because I truly, genuinely like to see people happy. I like knowing that you had a great day because I smiled and complimented your hair. Like, my God, could Kenzie be any hotter? I mean, right? Or you were sick, and I brought you some soup or something. It's not like I want a pat on the back. I just want you to be happy, and then I'm truly happy. But I think one of the things that people, and they're finding out now, and I will say at 46 years old, 47, shit, that happened on Sunday, 47. I will say at 47 years old, I have given myself the permission to be done with people. And I have not had that in my entire life. There was nothing anyone couldn't come back from. But now there is.
Yeah.
Because in my older, mature 2, I'm like, I have given you so many chances. Why?
I married you
done.
2 times.
We're not
done.
well. I mean, we're not talking. I mean, for sure with my ex-husband, right? I married you twice, but what people don't understand about me is if I hit that point with you, and it's not just him. There are other people. There are friendships that I have ended. There are working relationships that I've ended. If I get to that point where I am done,
yeah, it's over.
I can't turn it back.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't forgive you. It's not that I don't still hold love for you. I am just done.
Yeah.
And it's a scary, if a 2 quits on you, it's a scary situation because you're like,
you have done some.
Wait a minute.
You have done them dirty too many times. I think it's interesting, and I'm not bringing your marriage or divorce into the room so much on purpose,
Both of
but
them
it is
for the same guy.
But it's a good example because I think people are probably like, wait a minute, what? You married the same guy twice and divorced him twice? Like, what were you thinking? But when you layer this on, it's like you're actually wired this way, and it means you apply it to every other scenario. The only time that I have seen your 2 kind of, you come to a realization that you 2'd too much. You made a comment once when you were in a particularly stressful time where you were like, all I want is for people to call and check on me. I am a good friend. Why can't I get that back? And I thought, oof, she's mad about this. But now I'm like, oh, okay, you 2'd and 2'd and 2'd and 2'd. And then you were like, now I'm a fucking 8. Like, all I want is somebody to give me back what I give to them. You flipped your coin. I didn't mean to make you cry.
Well, no, I remember, this is where the Christy vulnerable side comes in, but I remember that date, Kelly.
Yeah.
And I rember just, why would you do this to me?
I'm sorry.
At the end of a podcast, it's funny.
I'm sorry. It's supposed to be funny, but it can also be vulnerable. Remember? No.
Well, and also vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness, Kelly. But no,
That's true.
but seriously, I think if you like, you just get to like, for me, especially in the past. I mean, God, the past couple years have been hard, and to be a two and a true two at heart, sometimes you've done giving,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it's like, where is everybody?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I have the best friends, and if I called up any one of them and I said, "I need you," they would be on a plane, they would be in a car, they would be here. But I'm also not very good, twos are not very good at asking for help. We actually fucking hate it. I hate to ask for help. I hate it with such I hate asking for help, Kelly, more than you hate crying in public.
Yeah.
Like, I do not like to do it.
Well,
If
and
we're
it's
fucking
because yeah,
go
we choose want people to need us. We don't want to need other people because if they need us, then they love us, but they also won't abandon us because like they need something from us. And we feel like if we ask them for help, maybe we'll be annoying or too much and then they won't love us or they'll be mad or whatever. Like that's why.
Which is why, despite your busiest weekend, you were like still committed to making chicken parm. When you, even for a moment, Christy's like, maybe I should just say fuck it and just order pizza. And I'm like, yes, just do that. Like, we can drink more wine. And she's like, nah, everyone likes the chicken parm. I'll just make it. I'm like, okay,
Let's
you do
make it
you.
fine. But I didn't do that in a martyr way. I just
No,
defaulted to
I'm
my
not saying you
natural
did.
setting.
No, it was
Yeah,
just
no, it's
that's
not that.
your setting. You're like, no, everybody's gonna like the chicken parm more. I'm gonna do this, and I'm like, okay,
I'm being
you got
attacked by an eyelash right now. Hold please. You two talk amongst yourselves until I can get
That's
this
why it's
eyelash.
awesome though too. Like was that Kelly when you came to visit?
yes, yeah.
Okay, because I love eights, twos, and eights. Remember, I told great dynamic because as a two, I'm like, well, what about this? Or I think they're mad, or I should probably still do this. And eight's like, no, forget that. We're not doing that. We're ordering pizza. It's gonna be great. I'm ordering. Bye. Like, go sit down. And you're like, okay,
You're
because they
describing,
protect you and they take
yes,
care of us, and we're not used. Like, you can say no. I don't know
you're
how to do that.
describing the scenario, Christy, where you were like thinking about Presley's next volleyball season, and you're like, what if? What if? Do you think this? What should I do? And I'm like, nah, you're being stupid. She's amazing. Of course, this is gonna happen. Why are you giving it another moment's thought?
Well, I mean, we're having a situation, Kenzie, where her coach is moving up with them.
Mm.
And Presley, when she first started competitive soccer, had a situation with a coach that demoted her at like 8, and she was one of the best players on the team. Like truly, like the parents were like, what in the actual F? And that broke something for Presley in soccer. And actually, she's retiring from soccer. My sweet little girl this is her last season. She's fully committed to volleyball. I hate it, but she's going to be in 6th grade. And so I have this fear of like her not
Getting hurt.
I
Yeah.
just I don't want to get hurt, right? It'd be different if it was a different coach and it's like, okay, well, Coach Bob didn't want you. Big deal. You don't know Coach Bob, right? But so it's a very triggering situation that I'm currently in. And I know Press is a little badass. I know she'll be just fine and the best things will work out for her. But also really quick, Kenzie, one of the reasons I just thought of something, you know how we were debating my sister Jenny and whether she's a 2 or whatever she is? Jenny will be the one with me to say stop. Here's what we're doing and order the fucking pizza. So I don't know if Jenny's one of those, I'm not sure where she falls because she is such a boss. And I mean that in the best possible way. Jenny picks me up and I don't have to think again for the rest of the day. She's just going to tell me what to do. She's going to tell me what to eat. She's going to say, hey, you and I should split these 2 feet. I'm like, fantastic. I mean, I literally have to do, once Jenny has me, I am like no work, Christy. Like, I'm like, what are we doing? I get to have fun.
Jenny, you need to fill this out and then come back to us. And we're going to analyze what it is that Jenny is.
I'm going to make her take it, Kenzie. What do we
Yes,
think? Are we
you
going to bet
definitely
over
should.
and under? Let's bet.
Yes, let's bet.
I
Well, you
think
know
I'm
Jenny,
Jenny.
so
I
yeah,
still think
Kenzie.
she's a 2. I think her
Yeah.
one wing is really strong because she is like the organizer of the family and like gets things planned. But also, I think I gave the example of you two with the chicken parm example. But no, Christy, even 2s, like we are people's biggest cheerleader too. So if the situation was reversed and Kelly was coming to you about her daughter something, you would still be like, no, she's amazing. Like, you know what I mean? Like we
Right.
can
Yeah, you
still
would
play
come
that
at it.
role too. We just can't see that for ourselves. It doesn't occur to us that we can say no or set boundaries or what. Like we gotta spiral or do our little thing, but other people can see
We
it
have
clearly.
to have our emotional, vulnerable breakdown, and we'll come back and we'll be fine. Excuse me. I don't have time for the breakdown I deserve, so I'm just going to have a really mini one real quick thing.
All right, let's just 2 seconds, please. So if you had to give one sentence advice to each type, let's start with 2s and 8s because
Well, I'm
obviously
a
that's
talker. One sentence, that's going to be
okay.
You say a
Just give
paragraph.
advice, a paragraph, but give advice to each type.
Kenzie,
What is
go.
it?
This is your time.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
love this. Take your
Because
time, too.
okay, remember we talked about the glasses. 2s, we see the whole world in details. That's why we can read people so well. That's how we can tell when someone's body language changes, when their tone, even if it's via text or email, I'm like, oh, they're mad. We can tell because everything is a detail. So that's why when we talk, we tend to say a bunch, which probably for 8, sometimes you like, sometimes you're not in the mood for it. Yep,
Maybe
you're like,
maybe
get to the
sometimes
point.
I want to fast forward.
Right. So
Whatever, Kelly, you're
anyway,
always in the mood for me, so stop saying that. You know you always are in the mood
you
for me.
love me. So anyway, saying one sentence is like impossible for a 2. Okay.
Brief
What did you say?
description.
Advice
So
for
what's
each
the
number?
advice? Yeah, the advice.
Okay.
Give advice to each number.
For everyone.
Okay. Enneagram 1 would be there's no like you are not good or bad, like you are perfect just the way you are. Enneagram 2, you don't have to earn people's love. Like just be yourself. Christy's crying. Enneagram 3, you are amazing even without performing or achieving. Like you don't have to perform to be good enough or to be winning. I think a 4, Enneagram 4, you belong, you matter, you're amazing just how you are, and everyone loves you. So 4s always they feel like it could be in a room of people that love them and they feel like, no, I don't think anyone likes me. I don't fit in. 4s, you have a place, like you fit in, you're amazing, you belong. 5s, I would say it's okay to feel things and it's okay to not have the exact right answer. Like it's okay to not know something, you're safe to not know. I think for Enneagram 6, it would be trust yourself, trust your gut, and also 6s are always worried that, something could go wrong, we talked about. So just like sharing that more, you don't have to carry that load alone. Enneagram 7s, I would say like be here, be present. Don't be looking for what's next. Like you have all you need right here. So stay grounded. Enneagram 8s, I love you guys. I would say like you don't have to protect everyone and it's okay to show people your vulnerability. Like you need to trust and let people in. And
Okay.
for 9s, I would say share your voice. Your voice matters and just sharing your opinion isn't going to rock the boat. You have incredible insight that needs to be heard.
Kenzie, you are a lovely, lovely human. And I
Thank
have to tell you, in a year and some, this is the first time we've stayed on topic the entire time.
Hey, you are
Thank
absolutely
you
right.
for sharing your time and your talent with us.
Of course.
So grateful. And we're going to have you back on again because this is really a lot of fun and we're just going to have
Wow.
to figure out a different angle on it.
Yes. So I have to do all of my children and my husband. You got to get Jenny and everyone else done. And then we're just going to map this out and be like, okay, what's really going on here?
There a
No,
code
seriously, I
we can
do
share?
family dynamics all the time.
Is there a code we can share where you get a profit off some of this? Like, do you have like a
Yes.
promotional code or something we can drop in?
I
And if you don't, go get one, Kenzie. We'll
Yeah,
make
go
you
get
some
one.
money,
Can't
damn
see.
it.
Yeah, make you some money. This is Christy pulling out her, what is it, your 3? I'm going to monetize this for you before
Gotta
we even
monetize
have a
everything,
plan.
people. No, but
Moment.
we have to go because we are at almost an hour and a half. But Kenzie, thank you so much for being on the podcast
Yes.
and
Thanks for asking.
sharing with us and just I don't know what to say. So Kelly, you finish this podcast out because I'm in my
Gosh.
feelings.
Yes. Oh, thank you. I appreciate this. I can see why Christy was like, you should be my sister-in-law. You would be a secret weapon in every family reunion. I'd be like, but did you see Aunt Sharon? I would love that. So thank you for
These
joining.
numbers above everyone, like characters in it. Do you really like in a video game? Like you're walking around, you're
Oh
at
my God.
9, and there's like a
Yeah. Well,
9.
you remember you sent me yours. I'm like, yeah, sorry, that's not right.
No
That's not
surprises there.
Yeah.
I did a
Love
cheap
that.
one. Well, I did a cheap one, and she's like, "That's wrong." Here,
Well, I must have pulled my 7 when you sent it to me. You're like, Kelly, you got to do this. And I'm like, immediately, yes, I'm buying it right away. No thinking required. I'm into it. I do love me some sort of personality traits. So I appreciate it. Now I know why your hair is so gorgeous because it's all the goodness coming out
Oh my
and
God.
growing like a beautiful plant. Anyways, thank you for joining us. I hope you
Thank
enjoyed
you,
being
guys.
on the podcast.
I loved it.
I'm sure we will have you back. And for anyone who hasn't done it, what's the website? It is because Enneagram is not exactly probably phonetically correctly spelled.
Yes.
We'll put
so
it in
there's a lot
we'll
of
put
different.
it in the
Yeah, there's a lot of different tests out
posts.
there. I'll send the one I recommend.
Yes, great. I appreciate it. And then for anyone who does it, you've got lots of tips in here. Answer honestly, honestly. And
And look at
apparently,
your whole life when you're answering it too. Don't look at current situation because remember it stems from childhood. So try to think of like a holistic view when you're answering.
I love this. And so I guess the other piece of advice is answer it as you as a human, not professional you, not mom you, just like who I feel like if nobody else is listening, this
Yep.
is who I really think. Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
We're
Okay,
gonna
love.
like, share, follow.
Hello.
Who's our guest next week? Christy.
Next week we have It's a Man. No, next week we get to talk with Casey Herbis, who is a legendary marketer and also a dear friend and hilarious man. I have no idea what we're talking about, but I'm sure it will be riveting and part scandalous. So make sure you
Casey.
tune in.
Yes.
Go
Casey,
ahead.
though, quickly do your Enneagram before you get here so we know what we're working with.
Yeah. I think Casey might be a 2, bro. I don't know.
Okay. We're going to
Anyways,
break the dynamic. We're going to
Let me
bring a
know
man on
before
this
and I can prep
podcast.
you guys.
Yeah, there
Yes.
you go.
yes,
Yeah.
you prep us. Okay,
Prep
awesome.
us.
Thanks,
Bye, all.
guys.
Have a
you
great
both.
week.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.